Hi everyone, it's Lisa. I'm back again with another review for you. This time it's a review on the January book that I read for my book club, and that is The Lost Bookshop by Evie. I'll read you the blurb from the back of it. On a quiet street in Dublin, a lost bookshop is waiting to be found. For too long, Opaline, Martha, and Henry have been the side characters in their own lives. But when a vanishing bookshop casts its spell, these three unsuspecting strangers will discover that their own stories are every bit as extraordinary as the ones found in the pages of their beloved books. By unlocking the secrets of the shelves, they find themselves transported to a world of wonder where nothing is as it seems. As you can probably gather from that, the story is split between 3 points of view: Opaline, Martha, and Henry. Each chapter is dedicated to one of the characters. The characters aren't too long, it's quite well paced. It didn't take me too long to read this book at all, and I have to say I really quite enjoyed it. It's an easy read. There is probably a couple of trigger warnings. There is some domestic abuse described, but otherwise I wouldn't say there's really any other triggers to be aware of. The story, as it says, concerns a bookshop. There's probably what you would class as magical realism, I think is how it was put in the book club meetup just the other week. There's a hint of magic. How you interpret that, how you decide what's actually going on with that, it's open to your own interpretation, to be fair. The story itself is over a couple of different timelines. I don't think I'm giving too much away with that. Most folk, from what I gather from the chat in the book club and online, preferred Opaline's story. It's not that Martha's story or Henry's story was unenjoyable. It just felt that there was more to discover from Opaline, and possibly felt that her story was slightly unfinished. Didn't seem to be rounded off quite the same as the others, but it's a really good read. As I said, it's a quick read. It's, excusing the trigger warnings that I mentioned, it's a cosy read, if that makes sense. It gave that kind of sense of that's nice, you know. So I would recommend it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. The book club, not quite as generous. I think we averaged out as a 3.3 star review, but I would recommend it. And I, and certainly one of the other ladies in the book club, we have actually both purchased the next book by Evie Woods, which I have right here, and it's The Story Collector. So perhaps coming to you sometime soon will be a review about that one. But the very fact that at least 2 of us have gone on to purchase another book by the same author, I think speaks for itself a wee bit. So I would recommend it. If you've read it, let me know what you think. If you do read it, also let me know what you think, because it'd be interesting to see if other people don't enjoy it quite so much. But hopefully if you read it, you will enjoy it. At the book club meeting the other week, we did a blind book swap, and I've actually started the book that I received for that. It sounds quite interesting. It's called A Year of Marvellous Ways by Sarah Winman. So that's what that looks like. Please excuse the ever glamorous post-it note that I'm using as my bookmark. But what, a few chapters into that, 10. I'm about to start chapter 12, so a little bit differently written, but it seems interesting so far, so we'll see what we make of that. Coming up for this month, hopefully all going well, because I am actually also listening to an audiobook at the moment, which is Life by Keith Richards. This is one that I've actually looked at so many times over the years and picked up in bookshops and looked at it, and I've put it down and I've picked it up and I've put it down, and eventually I've decided I'm quite a recent convert to audiobooks. I found that I can actually get one listened to quite quickly when I'm potting about the house and cooking the tea and washing up and whatnot, instead of having to find the time to sit down and actually pick up a physical book. So I got through the last one quite quickly. So I'm listening to that. I'm not a huge Rolling Stones fan. I just always figured that Keith Richards is still with us, having been through goodness knows what in his career. So I thought it might be quite an interesting read. So we'll see how we get on with that one. It starts off being narrated by Johnny Depp, who Keith actually knows. So I think that's a nice touch that we've got a narrator that actually knows the author. But yeah, so listening to that. I've also got the next book for the February read for the book club, got handed, was The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston, I think that is. And that looks like it should be an interesting read. It sounds a bit like, what did we say, The Lake House, the movie with Keanu Reeves, that you've got two people in two different timelines in the same place, but they seem to be able to communicate with each other. So I think that could be a good read. It's not a huge book, I don't think, just over 300 pages, so hopefully I'll zip through that one quite quickly. And I'm also doing a read along in within the book club that I'm in, Chapter 25 book club, by the way. Very friendly bunch of people online, and the ones that I've met through the local branch are super. If you get the chance to join it, I highly recommend it. But we're doing, some of us within the larger book club are doing a year-long read-along of the Vampire Chronicles series by Anne Rice. So last month was Interview with the Vampire, which I finished about 2 minutes to midnight one night, just not long before the end of January. Saw the movie for that many moons ago with Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. I believe it has now been made into a TV series, so I really must try and get watching that. But the next book for that to read along in February is The Vampire Lestat. It's a bit of a chunky one. I'm not sure how I'm going to get on. But, oh yeah, it's, what we're looking at, 500 pages. Might not get through that one quite so quickly, but you know what? There's not an enforced time limit, so I'll get there when I can. But yeah, if you've read any of these books, please let me know what you thought of them. Always interested to hear people's thoughts. If you pick up The Lost Bookshop by Evie, let me know. I hope you enjoy it. And I will catch you next time. Thank you very much. Bye bye.